In this demo, I will show you how the external DNS works. In my GitHub repository, I have a folder external DNS, and here I have a README. This is the project page. If you want to read more about it, or you want to read more about the different setups that are available, we need to do a few things before we can use this external DNS. First, we need to create an IAM policy, because we need to give permissions to our nodes to create these DNS records. I have a script for this. This script adds permissions to the node's IAM role, enabling any pod to use these AWS privileges. Usage of kube2 IAM is recommended, but not yet implemented by default in kops. So this rule will add privileges, but it will add it to every node, and every pod can use it, which is not really desired, but it's still a shortcoming of the default deployment of kops. They are implementing kube2 IAM, which resolves this, which makes sure that you can put IAM roles on a pod basis rather than on a node basis, but it's not implemented by default, so I've chosen to do the demo this way, and when there's a new version of kops, then there will be a better way of using IAM roles. So to make this work, you need to change the node role. So this is the IAM role. For me, this is nodes Kubernetes New Tech Academy. So you will have to change this into your cluster name. I'm going to apply this. If you don't get any output, then it is working. I'm going to apply the ingress controller again. I'm going to use apply instead of create because I'm going to make changes to some of the objects later on. You can always use apply instead of create if you want. Apply will actually allow you to make changes to the YAML files and then apply those changes again. So I'm going to start the ingress. In this setup, we still have the host port because that's what I used in the previous lecture, but actually that's not necessary anymore. So if you go to host port here, you could remove these lines if you don't want to expose this port anymore, because we're going to put a load balancer in front of this controller. So the host ports here are actually not really necessary. So you could remove those and then do an apply again. I'm going to create a load balancer for the ingress. This is going to create the load balancer. So now I have an ingress Nginx load balancer, and this will give me this host name. So if I connect to this host name, I'll end up at the ingress controller. That's why you don't need this host port anymore in this setup. Then we're going to create the external DNS and the ingress rule. So let's create these. Also, you see that here, when I did apply service l4.yaml, this service was created, but this config map was configured. If you used create instead of apply, then it would give an error because we already had this config map earlier. So that's why I'm using apply here. All this is created. Let's have a look at my ingress.yaml file. Again, here I have configured instead of apply because I already had an ingress with hello world rules. Now I applied one with the same name. So we are having two hosts, Hello World v1 Kubernetes New Tech Academy and Hello World v2 Kubernetes New Tech Academy. Let's have a look at the pods. Should have an external DNS pod. Let's have a look at the logs. kubectl logs. And now you see we have the Hello World v1 Kubernetes New Tech Academy and v2 added. So all the records are up to date. There's also a record for ingress Kubernetes New Tech Academy, because if I have a look at service l4.yaml, then I also specified an external DNS annotation here to make sure that I also have a host for this ingress. So now you should be able to go to your browser and you should be able to reach Hello World v1 Kubernetes New Tech Academy and Hello World v2 Kubernetes New Tech Academy. Just like that. There are no more changes necessary. The external DNS created the DNS record for us, and it's pointing to the load balancer. The load balancer points to the ingress, and the ingress has all the correct rules. So I will use curl, but you can use your browser as well. Curl hello world v1 gives hello world. Curl hello world v2 gives hello world v2. So if I have another look at my ingress, hello world v1 goes to hello world v1 service, and hello world v2 goes to the hello world v2 service. So this is all working. So this is a very nice setup that you can use to have your DNS names automatically added. So then someone could just create an application with a service, with an ingress rule, and everything gets automatically created, and you can start using your apps immediately.